Imagine this. A sunny afternoon in 1848, a railroad construction site bustling with activity, and one Phineas Gage hard at work. Gage was not just any worker, he was a foreman respected for his expertise and leadership. He was overseeing a critical task that day, setting a blast to clear the way for the railroad tracks. This was a precise operation, involving drilling a hole into solid rock, filling it with blasting powder, and carefully packing it with sand or clay using a tamping iron. But on this fateful day, Gage's attention was drawn away by his crew working behind him. As he turned his head, his position shifted, aligning his head with the blast hole. Just as he was about to speak, the unthinkable happened. The tamping iron sparked against the rock, and boom. Now, you might be thinking that Gage was a goner, right? Well, not quite. In fact, the tamping iron that rocketed through Gage's skull, a piece of iron about the size of a javelin, took an unbelievable journey. Entering just forward of the angle of the lower jaw, it continued upward, passing behind the left eye, through the left side of the brain, and then completely out the top of the skull. A feat that would leave most of us reeling just thinking about it. Now here's where it gets really wild. Despite having a piece of iron rocket through his head, Gage didn't just keel over. No, our man Gage was a tough cookie. He was up and about within minutes, chatting away as if he'd merely stumbled over a rock, not had an iron rod blast through his brain. You have to admit, that's some real grit right there. And then, as if to add a cherry on top of this unbelievable Sunday, Gage didn't wait for an ambulance or a stretcher. He took a leisurely ride back to town, sitting upright in an ox cart. You can almost picture him, casually bouncing along, perhaps even waving to a few startled townsfolk. You've got to admire his style. Once back in town, Gage didn't head straight for a hospital bed. Oh no. He sat himself down outside a hotel, waiting for his doctor to arrive. And when the doctor did arrive, Gage greeted him with a line that would go down in medical history. Not a scream, not a plea for help, but a calm, cool, and collected, "Doctor, here is business enough for you." So there you have it. The wild, unbelievable, and strangely humorous story of Phineas Gage, the man who survived a javelin-sized iron rod through his skull and lived to tell the tale. And there he was, sitting outside a hotel, greeting his doctor with a statement that would go down in medical history. "Doctor, here is business enough for you." Now, you might wonder, why are we talking about a railroad worker who survived a freak accident back in the 19th century? Well, Phineas Gage's story isn't just about survival. It's about understanding the incredible complexity of our brains. After the accident, Gage's personality underwent dramatic changes. The once responsible, hard-working man became impulsive, irritable, and unreliable. His friends said he was no longer Gage. Now, remember, this was the 19th century. The field of neuroscience was still in its infancy. People didn't understand how the brain worked, let alone how it influenced personality and behavior. Gage's dramatic personality transformation provided a vital clue. It suggested a link between the brain and our behavior. But how? Well, the tamping iron had destroyed a significant part of Gage's frontal lobes, the region of the brain we now know is involved in decision-making, social behavior, and personality expression. His case was a turning point, prompting scientists to explore the brain's role in personality and behavior. It was a catalyst for the development of the field of neuroscience. It led to the understanding that damage to specific areas of the brain could result in particular behavioral changes, a concept known as localization of brain function. It's important to note that Gage's case isn't a blueprint for how brain injuries affect everyone. Each brain injury is unique, just like each brain. But his story does highlight the brain's incredible influence over who we are. So, what are the lessons from Phineas Gage? Well, he taught us the brain's role in our personality and behavior. His story continues to inspire neuroscientists, helping them understand the marvels of the human brain. So, next time you're feeling a bit off, just remember, it could be your brain playing tricks, but hey, at least you're not Phineas Gage, right?